Pierre-Luc Dubois. Definitely a player that has become more polarizing as his career has progressed. As a forward, has thoroughly embraced what it means to play on the edge and to be an all-around pest to opponents. And while doing so, Dubois has displayed his own fair share of jerk moments along the way. In this video, we'll be going over a select number of jerk moments from Dubois himself. And with that, here are the top 6 jerk moments from Pierre-Luc Dubois. First, as we work our way up through the list, we're going to take a look at a more comical moment in which Dubois was trolling more than anything. During the final frame of a regular season game in the Windy City, things began to quickly heat up in the Blackhawks' end. After colliding with Boris KATCHOUK, Dubois decided he was going to pull a Corey Perry and taunt the forward by holding onto his stick. Directly after, KATCHOUK found that the officials hadn't noticed Dubois' antics at all. And in frustration, after getting a subtle shove by Dubois, KATCHOUK decided to throw a punch Dubois' way. Following the altercation, both players were given matching minor penalties for their actions. While playing a regular season contest in the desert state, Dubois seemed rather flustered after getting tangled up with defensemen. After JAKOB CHYCHRUN witnessed Dubois slashing his teammate, he instantly confronted his opponent thereafter. And Dubois was far from wanting to simply talk things out, as he decided to break his stick on CHYCHRUN while enraged. Until they were stopped by the officials, the two continued to go at it in front of the Coyotes' net, and it was during that time that CHYCHRUN was able to get his shot in at Dubois for retribution. Due to their actions, both CHYCHRUN and Dubois were given minor penalties on the play. Right now, as we're facing increasing amounts of food shortages, Patriot Supply is the perfect place to go to find some security. And there's other reasons to stock up on these easy to make products as well. You might be into camping or live in a disaster-prone area. Speaking of disasters, right now, Patriot Supply is donating 10% of all purchases in aid of relief of the Hurricane Ian victims. Whether you like pizza, burgers, or just want some of the basics, check out the site today. Right now, we have a special going on where you can buy a 4-week emergency supply and receive 20% off, which is a great deal. So if you'd like to support me, simply click the link down below to get started. And now, back to the video. With a couple minutes to spare on the clock in Winnipeg, as the Jets were facing the Rangers, tempers began to flare. After he received a hit from defenseman Jacob Trouba, Dubois apparently wasn't pleased and proceeded to let Trouba know he wasn't okay with it. Due to receiving a hit himself as the puck carrier, K'Andre Miller was in a vulnerable position as Dubois was in pursuit of Trouba. For Dubois, however, it was icing on the cake per se that Miller was, as this allowed him to get a headshot in on the defenseman as he was on one knee. You could say that Dubois got away scot-free with this one, as the play went unnoticed by the officials entirely. Even though, thankfully, the opponent involved was okay, we're still including this one as well, just because of the pure intention of it. As the game was winding down in Toronto between the Jets and Leafs, Dubois, who was probably frustrated due to the score of the contest, decided to try and stir things up. Dubois, while on the backcheck, decided to take a detour by going out of his way to hit Alex KERFOOT. But it wasn't the fact that he hit KERFOOT, but how. As we can see here, Dubois makes the deliberate effort to stick his knee out while approaching KERFOOT. He also managed to simultaneously get his elbow up into the face of his opponent as well. Again, this play went completely uncalled. For Pierre-Luc Dubois, one could say that there's definitely been a trend with him, meaning that this play we're about to go over is similar to the one that he was suspended for while playing for the QMJHL's Screaming Eagles. Dubois ended up shoving his opponent, Luke Green, into the boards viciously from behind. And here, we're seeing some similarities from a hit that Dubois threw on Alex KILLORN during the postseason of 2020. As KILLORN and Dubois were both in puck pursuit, KILLORN happened to get ahead, just enough for Dubois to give him a nice shove into the boards. Thankfully in this case, as well, KILLORN seemed to be okay. For his actions, Dubois was given a 2-minute minor for boarding. Well, unfortunately, in this final moment here, there was an injury that occurred. Obviously, as we review the shove from Dubois, we're going to witness more of a domino effect, more than anything, meaning that because of Dubois' hit and other extenuating circumstances, the injury to Jake MUZZIN came about. It all started during the second game of the Toronto-Columbus series in 2020. As the clock was winding down, Dubois again was probably feeling some frustration since the Leafs were leading 2-0. Similarly to the KILLORN situation, Dubois skated in behind MUZZIN and decided to give him a blatant shove. This caused MUZZIN to fall into the feet of Oliver Bjorkstrand. Again, we're not saying that Dubois directly caused MUZZIN to go off on a stretcher, but if the defenseman wasn't shoved, it likely wouldn't have happened. The Department of Player Safety probably took this fact into account and realized that Dubois had indirectly caused MUZZIN to leave the arena in an ambulance. Therefore, Dubois received no supplemental discipline from the play.